Good morning, everybody. It is September 7th, 2024. It's a wonderful Saturday morning. Sorry. And I'm coming to you to bring you a video that had one of my subscribers and fellow clan members for Damnation reach out to me and say, hey, this champion is a sleeper. People are really not up to speed on her. He couldn't find any really good content on her. So I'm going to try and bring you that content today, but the content's really going to be one focused, and it's going to be in Hydra. I might as well just turn this channel into a Raid Shadow Legends Hydra channel. But here we are. And the champion we're going to talk about today, not a lot of people, I got to agree with him. I don't see a lot of people talking about her. And it's going to be here. Senna Amberheart. Senna Amberheart is a Void Legendary support. Now, I already feel a bunch of you guys turning off to this because you heard Void Legendary. But seems quite a bit of people, about 239, have gotten her since she released a couple months ago. And they're in agreement. And I'm always tell people don't always go by these, but excuse me, they're in agreement. She is pretty amazing, and it's because of her passive, but we'll get into that in just a second. So her A1 attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance when booked to instantly activate a continuous heal buff on each ally. Okay, that comes into play here in a minute. Her A2, Touch of Gold, 3-turn cooldown when booked, places increased speed and 2 continuous heals on everyone for 2 turns. Also fills her turn meter by 20%. That's actually a pretty big turn meter fill. And it's going to be a lot more in a second, right? Her A3 is a Revive. 4-turn when booked, Edge of Death, revives everybody with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Then teams up with all allies revived by the skill to attack the enemy with the lowest HP. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. And then for the passive, Healing Glow. Whenever a continuous heal buff activates on any ally, fills this turn all allies' turn meters by 5%. At the end of this champion's turn, increases the duration of a continuous heal buff on a random ally except this champion for 1 turn. That is where we come into play, folks. She is a complete turn meter manipulator. And then she has a little aura here, which is actually pretty great. It's just general speed aura for legendaries in all battles, 19%. She has great base stats. Honestly, her base speed is pretty crazy, 113. HP's decent. Attack, nothing. Defense, pretty par for the course. Resistance, par for the course. Nothing else to write home about. Now, we're going to get into the recording of my clanmate's Hydra Brutal run, and he's even told me he's gonna transition her from Brutal to Nightmare, which is a pretty great thing, and we'll get into that in just a second. All right, and then we're gonna get into this part of the video here. We're gonna break down the Hydra run for Brutal, so we'll get her going. And then we're gonna break down the team here in just a second. Okay. Senna, he has just completely doing her own thing. Her AI is good enough that you don't really need to alter it. Lady Mikage, he's blocked Metamorph. And personally, I would put priority on Imperial Dance and then priority 2 on Silken Snare. That's what I would do. But if you do have a Lady Mikage in a team for Hydra, you have to stop her from using her Metamorph because she will switch over and become Spider Lady. So heads up there. And then he has Tuhanarok. He lets her do her own thing. Again, her AI is good enough. And then we're going to go to Krisk. Krisk, now, my only thing on this as well, Krisk should prioritize his A3 and A2. But honestly, I've never seen Krisk not do those things in the correct order, to be fair. So, and then we have Michinaki here. Again, I think you would have to prioritize Dire Whirl and then double Degeneracy. You need to get the decreased defense down first and then the Hex. And then the main damage dealer of the team, which is going to be his Ninja. As you can see, Ninja sitting at 232 speed. Crit rate's good. Crit damage 326. And then attack 6.328. And if I remember right, he's in Perception and Relentless. And he has enough accuracy for Brutal. Excuse me. So let's just kind of get into the run here. We won't spend too much time on the run. We're just going to kind of watch it for just a minute. And then we're going to get to the end, okay? As you can see, here she goes. She's going up. We're getting that ally attack going. Krisk is in a Hex set. This helps out quite a bit in landing Hex. And then only other thing I would do for this team is, I know, and by the way, this team is completely full auto, okay? I know a lot of people are kind of turning off anyways because they see 3 Void Legendaries that you can't get for free or we're not guaranteed. But hear me out. If you are going to run a team like this, even on full auto, I would watch it and start clicking the heads for priority. Because you saw they just started attacking the head of the head of terror. No, I can't remember, but it's the head that places true fear, and you'll see that quite a bit because this head has the least amount of health and least amount of defense, and your champions in the AI, they know that, so they usually will target him until they can target this guy, the head of mischief. Okay, boom. And also what I did notice when I was watching the run earlier, if you don't target decapitated heads in the run, a lot of the times these guys will just start targeting other heads. So you lose out on potential damage that way. But look at all this turn meter boost times 4. Look at all this turn meter boost times 3. She's constantly making this stuff pop off, okay? Ninja, boom. Krisk is coming in. Michinaki. It's wonderful, right? And here she go. We're going to take it. Everybody's getting, look at all this turn meter times 4. Turn meter times 4. Turn meter times 2. So each turn meter multiplication is 5%. So times 4 is 20%. Times 2 is 10%. Obviously, you guys know how to do math. And that is her whole thing. She gets the team to outspeed the Hydra clan boss, which is pretty great. So she is effectively, I think you could pair her with Androck and just be a menace, to be fair. I have an Androck myself, and after seeing this team, I also want Senna because I think that would be a pretty cool team to put together. So you guys pretty much got the gist of it. We're going to jump, boom, to the end of the video and then see what he did. Because he does go to turn limit. He said every time he's never had any fail or anything. All right, guys. So here we are at the end of the run. Takes about 46 minutes, which is actually pretty fast. It's very impressive. He's already at 521 million. We got 20 turns left. Let's just kind of see how we're doing here. Boom. And you see every time, well, not every time, what is it, 50% of the time or 60% of the time when she attacks at that A1, she has a chance to activate continuous heal buff on the entire team. So she essentially gives a speed boost to everybody, big turn meter boost. 4 turns left, and where are we standing on this? See what I'm saying? They, boom, they attacked the strongest head on the team with Lady Mikage. They went and attacked Head of Suffering. So we're at 527 damage dealt. Senna with 24 million in healing and 244 in defenses. She's only, well, I mean, she's being beaten by everybody else for defenses, to be fair, but the healing is where it's at. And if this would calculate how much turn meter she's given to the team, honestly, she's the only one here. She'd be putting it through the roof, to be fair. 200 Rock, I think, brings in increased speed as well. So let's just kind of go over the team. Okay. So as you can see, his Lady Mikage, she's sitting with Relentless and Perception. Very good stats here. Boom, 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 boom. He has her with 100% crit rate. A little bit of crit damage, just under 200. 199. Accuracy, enough to land all the debuffs. Fully booked out. She's 6-star with Brimstone, which is very impressive. I wish I had that. Chris, as you can see, oops, let's go back just a hair. Chris is sitting there with 200 and I think it's like 60, no, I'm sorry, 258 speed, and he has a ton of accuracy, but he doesn't have enough resistance, but he is built for damage. He has 100% crit rate and about 183% crit damage. My only thing for Krisk as well, if you run Krisk in a team, you don't need him to do the damage, even though you're doing a min-max. But Krisk's main role in a Hydra team is he's going to be your mischief tank, right? So if because he produces extra buffs. right? When he gives the ally protection. So, excuse me. When you have him do that, you need him to have the resistance, okay? Um, but that would be that's another thing that I recommend for a Krisk. So I mean, but again, you're looking at Krisk to be like either he's built for damage or he's built to be your mischief tank. That's the two things, right? Because Krisk, his A2 hits hard, very hard. Fully booked out, intimidating presence, and then we have him going down to War Master here. And then we're looking at Ninja. Again, down here to War Master. Very prudent because the only thing that hits more than twice is going to be his A3. So yeah. Perception Relentless, like I told you. We already saw his stats from earlier. But yeah. He's got a little bit of speed on the Great Hall for Ninja. So he's sitting at like 236 speed. He gets enough accuracy with the Great Hall to land his debuffs for HP burn. And he's built for damage. It's very nice. And Ninja does come in with Lady Mikage for that A1 attack, which is great. To Hanarok here, she's in speed and perception. Enough accuracy to land her debuffs. Her speed, very fast. I think she's second fastest in the team. Third fastest. She's up there because I think it goes Mikage, Senna, and then to Hanarok. And her whole role here too is to place block debuffs and decrease speed, and I think decrease attack as well. And she cleanses every time she takes a turn. She's like a Doom Priest on steroids. Okay, she's the Void version of Mother Maud. And then you can see we have her with all these wonderful little masteries: increasing healing, increasing health, everlasting gifts, extending debuffs, Lore Steel. I'm a big fan of Lore Steel for any champion. And then I think we get down to Senna here in just a second. Yep, there she is. And then Senna, as you can see right here, he has Nourish Blessing on her and on to Hanarok, and that is to increase the healing they get. And he did put quite a bit of resistance on her. I mean, she has almost 500 resistance just right here base. She's sitting at 313 speed, and she is in almost full protection. He told me he is like praying to RNGesus to get him a ring and a banner so he can swap her into that so her continuous heals can be protected. It's very impressive. I when he showed me this champion and what she did, I was 100% sold on her. And then Michinaki, again, we have this guy built for damage. He's built very nicely. What's that? 4,000 some odd hundred defense, 247 speed, 100% crit rate, pretty decent crit damage, good enough action to land his debuffs. And Michinaki, again, smacks. I do love Michinaki. I finally got one not too long ago, but again, I have so many champions that I have to build up. There's no place to put him, honestly. And we have him going down to Helm Smasher. I would go Helm Smasher on anybody in a Hydra team that is not doing enemy max HP damage. Okay, so like Toshiro, Trunda, those guys should go into Helm Smasher. Okay, but anybody that has enemy max HP damage, like Acrizia, Ganut, Husk, Royal Guard, those guys, they should be put into War Master. Okay, food for thought. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think he's looking. Yeah. That's going to be it. It's going to be it for the video. I hope, Senna, you were sold on her. She is pretty amazing, to be fair. Boy, I do wish I had her, because her paired with Androck is pretty nutty. If you build the team out for speed, crit rate, right, even on your supports, because Androck essentially does the same thing on his passive, where he increases turn meter by 5% for each critical hit inflicted by allies. Okay, and what's that say? Occurs once per skill. Even if it's a multi-hit skill, it's only once, which is a big bummer, because he would really get out of hand. But using Androck, right, with Senna, I think you would have yourself a pretty nasty, meaty team, and I'm all for it. But thank you for turning into the video. I'm happy to get back to this kind of content. If any of you guys ever have anything that you think is different, it's not meta, and you want it to be talked about, and you don't have your own content creator channel or something, please reach out to me. Come into the comments. drop me a little comment and let me know. You can also find me on Discord, um, which is very easy. You can just look for Ope Game in YouTube, and there I am. But anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.